African or European?
Ah! I don't know that.
I don't know.
So when we last left our brave adventurers, they were given oh man, a lot of wacky shit happened last session.
Yeah.
Coincidence was canceled. What's his face? The rich guy went full Pikmin.
Delivered
Harlan,
us a
Marcus
prophecy
Rima.
on canvas.
right? Vrima went full Pikmin. Harlan fucking shot him in the head to unlock a magic painting, which radiates. It's not. I don't want to say it. Okay, the painting isn't evil. The painting radiates evil. Don't get it twisted. It's just
different.
Right. Like, I don't know. If you tried to smite the painting, it wouldn't work. But if a paladin cast detect magic, detect evil, it would ping evil. Don't confuse the father's influence for the child's malice. Oh jeez. Right, Mary was quote unquote watching the show.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know what got into me last session, but the scenario is going off the rails. I blame Dogo. It's Dogo's influence.
It is Dogo's influence.
Deus Volt.
We played right into his hands,
Yes.
choosing to go towards the throne at the summit of the mountain, and were blocked off and put into a force cage. And,
Sort of.
Kira's there.
It's a warmth bubble. Well, okay, so he brought you there. She laid down the bubble. She's protecting you from the elements, and you're like, this is a cage, and she's like, but you're safe.
And isn't it beautiful?
If you left here, you wouldn't be safe anymore. So
Right. It's a beautiful cage, isn't it? We love it, folks.
And this is the original Kira.
Yes, the original Kira.
The one who didn't become a goddess.
Correct. The Kira who was kidnapped and lived and breathed.
I thought we saw her body in the graveyard.
There was a tomb.
We never opened it.
Oh, we did. We got the wings out of it, remember?
Oh, we did? Was it just the wings in there?
I don't remember.
I'm
Or was it
pretty
the
sure.
wings and the mirror?
Well, the mirror was in the Hell Fortress.
Oh, right, the bedchambers.
The wings were in the tomb, and the
cursed,
key was
yeah.
there. Yeah, the key had been cursed, trying to keep the graveyard's bad mojo from infecting things, and it didn't work. Or it might have worked at one point. It wasn't working anymore.
But she's here now.
Yes, but she's here now.
And she's going to be the judge of this little trivia contest.
Right, of this quote-unquote contest.
Yeah, Selena and Mary, if I remember, were prohibited from answering, but they're going to ask us a series of questions that we must answer.
I thought we could get lifelines from anyone
Yes.
or something.
Dogo's going to be asking the questions. I think I've got a little sheet of paper with the lifelines. Right. Yes. So you can you get times 2 guesses for a question. You can ask the judge, or you can phone a friend.
So we get 4 questions originally, or 4 answers originally, right?
Yes.
And then one of them we can choose to give 8 answers.
Yes. On one question,
Okay.
you can be like, you can. Let's say Harlan, Meredith, and Psalm have all answered. It's just
Too hard.
It's just too hard. It's
Need
just
full
Cass
time.
left. Cass can be like, double answers. We all get another answer. And so then Cass gets 2 bites at the apple, and everyone gets their bite back.
Right.
Or you could just get a question and realize it's hard and be like, oh, fuck this, we're doubling our answers. There will be 10 questions, Dogo announces. Right, and he gave you a moment to confer with your friends about what you wanted to do and made it clear that once the contest begins, you cannot end it, and if you fail the contest or leave, you will not get another shot. They will make it so this throne is an unsuited seat of power for Marduk.
No pressure.
No pressure. I mean, you could always just go wake the Hell God.
There is always that.
Good to know we have options, you know?
Exactly. There's always you can always just give up. But what do you do? What do you say? Is there anything that you say or do to prepare for this nonsense?
This is it. They're giving us one chance to go back and prepare more, but I can't imagine how more we can prepare.
Exactly. We're in it now.
Time for a leap of faith?
Exactly.
No, and it is established you will be answering these questions from Marduk's perspective.
The other
Okay.
piece that we can consult, even though the questions are supposed to be split among us, we can always consult on each one, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can't consult.
We can huddle up.
You can't consult Mary or Selena, but you can consult each other.
We're
How are
ready.
questions being split up if there are 10? Since there are 4 of us?
I assume.
No, everyone, we all get the same 10 questions.
Yeah, it's a question for the floor.
Yeah, he asks 10 questions, and then question we get 4 guesses. Or 1 question we get 8. So like each of us gets a guess at the same question.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah, so I forgot how this was laid out. Alright. Well, I guess we should get started. I mean, it's... Yeah, I'm not sure how we'd study for something like this. I mean, it's a test from Dogo, so I can't see studying being helpful.
Anything we can do to prepare, he'll just upend. Begin your challenge, trickster god.
Alrighty then. Let's do it. And he, raises his halberd high and just because Aspertine's throne was in the center of this giant senatorial chamber, the Senate chamber fills up with a raucous audience of Dogos. There's 1,000 of these fuckers in here.
This is the same room where we fought the Bandersnatch and built the throne, and that's the throne that's in question, right?
Aspertine's floating chair, the thing he used to get around because he was like 180 years old and a human and like
Frail.
perpetually dying. Like Dosky crushed his head like a grape, and like I don't think that was like, I have power armor. Not even I'm super strong. It's like your skull is an eggshell, bro. That chair was repurposed as, the seat you leave open for Elijah, so to speak. But there is, like, a council, there is a round table that's got a bunch of chairs in it, and then there's one other chair. That's sort of the head of the table. It's supposed to be empty. And, now Kira is lounging on it, and Dogo is prancing around. So... are you ready to begin?
We're ready.
Incorrect, Harlan! Damn! Wrong! First question! Alright, what about the rest of the 3 of you?
I'm ready.
Incorrect, Psalm! 2 for 2! Oh my goodness!
Not even fucking remotely.
Incorrect, Cass. Well, you're not ready. Why aren't you ready?
Is that another question?
It is, Judge. It's not. It's not another question. It's part of the first question. You're correct. You're not ready. But now he needs to understand why you're not ready.
Ah, okay. I guess because I'm a dumbass who doesn't pay attention to a lot of stuff that's relevant to this exam.
Judge. Incorrect, darling. Meredith, you have one answer left. And you can consort amongst yourselves before you put in your final answer.
I would like to consort.
Consorting sounds like a good idea.
Well, I mean,
We're answering this from Marduk's perspective. Remember, we're not ourselves
oh yeah,
in
that's
these
right.
questions. We are him. He's not ready. So let's work with that.
I'm about to say, you've gotten that much. He cannot be ready. Why can't he be ready?
Because he already knows all the answers, right? So he's not ready or unready. He is. Just is.
I mean, he's also dead. Are we gonna bring in that?
Yeah, but that if we're doing it from the question of his perspective, him being dead would kind of fuck with any response we could make.
I don't think that's in the spirit of the question.
Yeah.
Not ready or unready.
It's interesting that saying not even remotely got me to a second question, which had to elaborate. So that kind of means that it's somewhere in the wheelhouse of not even remotely. But it needs more information.
Alright. So, can't be ready or unready. Because I see every eventuality. I cannot be unprepared. In the same way that I cannot be ready.
Is that your final answer?
I look to the others if they're gonna stop me.
Harlan gives you a nod and a thumbs up.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my final answer.
Correct. To those who can see the fabric of reality, readiness is an illusion. Readiness is a uniquely mortal limitation. Congratulations, you have answered question 1!
Just a single bead of sweat.
Question 2. Who was Marduk's father?
Meredith looks to Harlan.
And Harlan says, not giving his answer yet, but to the rest. Is it,
I mean, the creator seems too obvious,
the
right?
creator, right?
But isn't that too obvious? It's gotta be
Okay.
something sneaky.
It doesn't have to be. Not necessarily. If he says that and it's wrong, then let me think harder.
All right. Well, steps up and offers the creator.
Incorrect! No. Ooh, good guess, but not good enough. 3 more tries, boys and girls.
I don't suppose he's one of those self-created heroes. You know, the no father. So it's a trick question. There is no father.
Could I roll a religion check to try to remember what was written about Marduk? His origins?
You can roll a religion check. You mayst have.
Can Harlan roll to assist?
You may.
I don't actually have religion, so
Yeah, I found a playlist of like an hour's worth of game show music.
Yeah.
hopefully all out of copyright.
Fuck it. We do it live.
We're doing it live. I don't think anybody's got a stranglehold on The Price is Right, The Beanstalker.
If you like private the videos or unlist them and then just link, does that stop
No,
them from getting
that
struck?
did not prevent the strike.
Oh, okay.
They were banned from all regions.
Interesting.
I did try that. I did try going private. Cass, were you gonna roll or do you not have religion?
I don't have religion.
Alrighty then, Harlan, you get a +2. Meredith, 21.
Yeah.
So what you know from the scripture is that Marduk was handcrafted by the creator and sent to Septemport. And from there, he prosecuted the Battle of the Seven Winds, where he defeated Gemma in a battle that lasted 100 days.
So if it's not the creator, it's no one, right?
Yeah, he wasn't born; he was made, right? He's almost a construct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll offer as our second guess, that Marduk has no father because he was handcrafted by the creator.
Correct. Kira pipes up. We also would have accepted Ramakant Uhuru, the first man that Marduk ran into, but we understand that he has been lost to time. And like that's definitely a big question. Like,
That's like
who the fuck? Whomstead of the fuck? Alrighty then. Question number 3. Who won the Battle of the Seven Winds?
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those no one quite the answers, but
Every
I don't-
question is going to be a trick, Cass, I think.
yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Is the obvious thing everybody knows? Marduk won, so it can't be that.
I'm about to say, did he consider himself a victor?
If he sees everything and he knows all the consequences and can actually every move he makes is predetermined, how can he be a winner?
that implies the possibility of losing.
Right.
Right. If it
I'm
was
sure
a-
that there were threads in which he did lose. The possibilities were there. He saw them. Must have. He took the path where that didn't happen.
So it wasn't really a matter of winning, it was a matter of going through the right steps. Okay, well, I'll answer that one, and when it's wrong, it will give you guys some more information to figure it out. I'll say no one won because Marduk knew every step that he made in advance. He was aware of everything that he could do. So it wasn't really victory. It was going through the steps of a recipe.
You are half correct. You are allowed to continue. There were no winners. What were there?
Participants? What do you think?
There were no winners. There were.
Well, everyone, I wonder if this is one of those.
It's that they were all puppets playing on the strings of the creator.
Very close, but Judge? Sorry, we can't give it to you for that. You're on the right track, though.
Okay, well, gives you guys a chance to figure it out.
And the crowd, the crowd roars in a combination of approval and disapproval.
I wonder if it's something like if it's from the perspective of Marduk and were the rest of the people in the battle mortal people?
Yeah, for the most part. It was mortals versus demons.
Right, so I wonder if there weren't any winners, there were losers or people who suffered. Because Goto couldn't consider himself a winner because he could see everything and he just followed the steps, but he could consider everybody else a loser because they couldn't see the path they should have taken to not lose or die or suffer or whatever.
Yeah. Or they could simply be survivors.
Yeah. I'll chime in with that answer. That they were losers or survivors because they couldn't see everything.
Correct.
So they didn't.
We would have also accepted there were no winners, only widows, and there were no victors, only victims.
Poetic.
What was Marduk's greatest fear? Question number 4.
I mean, when you see everything coming in advance, do you feel fear? I mean, it wouldn't be. You would know how he died. You would know everything that he.
I got a guess.
Go for it.
Harlan.
Atrophy.
Ooh, Judge. I've got to give it to him. There was one thing he did fear, and it was entropy. Although it was more of sort of like an abstract thing, we also would have accepted nothing. But atrophy and entropy are acceptable answers.
Here we go.
What is Marduk's holy symbol represent?
No.
I don't even know what
It's
his holy
sword.
symbol is. Oh,
Harlan's got it tattooed on his arm, so he hikes up his sleeve.
It looks
Right,
like
but-
a diss.
It's so
that's a sword.
In an
represents-
abstract way.
it represents the sword, I think, is. But maybe think deeper and what does that sword have any significance? Does that represent anything else?
Well, justice. You know, we've always stood for that principle.
So,
Justice,
is that,
but in the way of like willingness to commit to justice, not
Is it
justice
really-
abstractly.
is it all really true? I mean, is this really justice that we're talking about? When someone sees everything?
Well,
I think justice is the best way to describe it to people who can't see that.
yeah, he has to justify it somehow because he's the only one that could see everything. So mortals would have to just view it as justice or something else. So
Hmm.
Can I roll a religion check to make sure that that is the holy symbol that I'm remembering?
You may have.
I'll assist on it.
Oh
Aw.
nope, Harlan, you're drawing a blank. Like you can just hike up your arm and you're like, well, it looks like this.
And then Meredith's like, "Are we sure that's the holy symbol?" And Harlan's like, "Of course it's the holy symbol." And then he gets like blank-eyed. I
I was
mean,
really drunk when I had it done. I don't remember.
Let's say, did you get fucking blackout and tattoo a fucking Chinese food menu on your face?
he doesn't know.
One of those things is true.
So, Meredith, I will say that is the holy symbol, and it is said that it is meant to be a sword.
Okay.
Although there is some debate about, like, why does a sword look like that?
I mean, that's not how I would tattoo a sword. But
That's also, like, not what his swords look like either.
Here's a question that may require a new roll of some kind. Deep in my pack, I still have that parchment that had basically Holt's contact info in Enochian. Is this an Enochian symbol?
Ooh. No, it's not Enochian. You do know enough about language to, as a true speaker, to be like, wait, is this Enochian? And you're like, nope, it's not. It's not linguistic. It's purely stylistic.
Okay.
I think that one of us needs to give a real dumbass answer, so that we can get that little bit more information from the way they respond.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What is Marduk's holy symbol?
Okay.
And more accurately, what does it represent?
There we go. Thank you.
Because you could just like hold up Harlan's arm and he'd be like,
Yeah.
cool, what does that mean? And you'd be like, oh, I live a hard life.
All right, I'll give a bullshit response, and hopefully you guys will be able to figure it out from there. The cutting edge of reality, the line between absolutes.
Is that
So,
your final
that's-
answer?
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry, Cass. That is incorrect.
Perhaps a little too esoteric.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of looks like to me? And she says, kind of tilting her head to look at Harlan's arm.
What?
If you look at it this way, it kind of looks like a flower.
Hmm. Now, if you look at my arm that way.
Or a hook. I don't know any blades that literally bend like that.
A really weird penis.
I was waiting for
You already used your guess.
I'm
And
still
you blew
consulting.
What? It looks like a cock. Come on.
Forget about it!
You know, Marduk McNever fucked. Absolutely, his Marduk McNever fucked. His holy symbol is a flaccid penis. We got there.
I mean, that would be a very funny joke. That here we are, centuries later, and people are getting it tattooed. If
Harlan
the
looks
man,
Meredith dead in the eye and goes, I will give you 10 gold if you make that guess.
10 gold for the fate of the world.
Ooh.
I'm
Nothing if
that
not
deep,
specific.
Harlan. You can't buy me for the price of a glass of good whiskey. And you see, this is where they're going to catch us, because we know this symbol as followers of Marduk would know this symbol. But what would Marduk say about it?
Correct. And unfortunately, your mortal knowledge only extends to it's a sword, sort of.
I mean, so the funny thing is that a sword is usually straight. I mean, unless you're talking about a falchion or scimitar, which are kind of curved. But I mean, his swords were straight, and you could see straight is making sense because it's the straight line that he walked. You know, he walks the edge of all the choices he can make. But this thing's fucking curved and has weird things hanging off of it. So, how does that fit?
And then, like, Mary, like, grabs one of the swords and holds it up, just like, hello, here it is. And Dogo says, put that down! No hints! Not from you, anyway. Sheesh.
Hold on. Meredith's going to, she doesn't have a sword, but she's going to draw her long dagger, her sea axe, and just hold it in front of her with both hands, and that kind of oath-keeping salute that happens in Lord of the Rings like 85 times. And looks to the symbol and looks to that pose and just considers it.
What you got? What's percolating, Meredith? Meredith.
Merilith?
Meredith! Well, orcs attack!
No!
Fucking snow orcs.
Snorks, if you will.
Oh, fuck. No.
Oh,
I don't want to deal with snorks. I've played too much Stalker. Those fuckers are dangerous.
I'll give it a shot. The holy symbol is a sword, and it represents an oath to do good in the world.
What sort of good?
Let's see. What do I know of Mardukian rhetoric? I have to -2 from that. 12 plus 8 is a 20 total.
20 total. Mardukian rhetoric revolving around what exactly? What's good?
Yeah, what is good?
What is
He says,
good?
do goodness. What does his holy book say?
Good is about giving. good is about building. Good is about caring. In that way, good is about relieving. It's about relieving harm. If people are busy, washing their clothes, you build a washing machine. That sort of thing. You can innovate your way out of tragedy.
It's good in this circumstance means giving and caring selflessly whatever you can to alleviate suffering around you.
And
Be
what
it
what has the sword been turned into?
a tool.
Correct.
Meredith was not expecting to get that one right.
Well done, Meredith.
It is literally a sword into a
Or
plowshare.
plowshare.
Why did Kira fall in love with Marduk? And she's just like, you can't. Are you telling stories out of school? I'll tell whatever stories I want. What are you gonna do? Stop me? What did she see in such a fuddy-duddy like him? Huh? A woman who could have anyone on this plane of existence settles down with dickless Marduk in the middle of nowhere? Why?
Harlan steps up and previously he's looked directly at Dogo for all of his answers. And at this one, he's kind of looking more sidelong at Meredith. Because none of that was important to him. He cared about her.
Correct. And like, oh geez. I don't know what roll there is to resist an angel's blush.
I choose to
Will
fail.
DC 40.
I'm about to say, I don't know what sort of roll it is, but you all fail. Oh hey, everybody reduce a point of melancholy.
I was about to ask.
Oh, yeah. Blessings.
It's very wholesome. He's like, correct! And she's just like, I don't want there to be any fanfare. Yes, you're right. I loved him because he didn't adore me like they do. And I loved him because he didn't care. In that way. Alrighty then, we're at the final four. Where did Marduk settle his court?
Oh shit.
Well, it was in District 4.
Somehow
And-
I don't think that answer is gonna be good enough.
Is that your final answer, Merida?
Do I know with, does the Catfolk City have a name?
The Catfolk City did. Oh, it did have a name, and you would have seen it in the history, even if the players didn't hear it last time.
Okay.
Yeah, because we read it in Solandra's book.
I cannot deny you this.
Then, as my answer, Meredith's going to step up and just say the name of the Catfolk City in District 4.
Zuawood.
Zwowood.
Ooh, unfortunately, that is incorrect. Better luck next time.
I'm thinking maybe because he already knew the answers before, he settled it inside his own mind. I guess I'll answer that and until and you guys can take what you will from the response.
Harlan, do you remember anything? Did he take counsel from others?
Let me roll religion on that.
Did he take counsel from others?
Oh, baby. That is a 21.
21. He was a fantastic listener. It's unclear to you what impact any of that would have had.
I'll just give my response. Because he knew the truth of every case that came before him, it was all settled in his mind before the case was even tried. So it was inside himself.
Correct.
Yeah. There you
Had to
go.
happen eventually.
Question number 8. What was Marduk's tomb, and what is it that destroyed it?
Wasn't that in Philander's book too?
It was indeed in Salandra's book. So you can take your experiences from Septemport 1 and what happened in the dungeon there to draw your conclusion.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, what can I remember?
I mean,
That was where we recovered the last of his artifacts, right?
That was where his key was.
His key.
Yeah, Marduk's
Right.
key was part of a mechanism that was responsible for making the tomb do the stuff that it did.
Yeah, because it was... There was like a forge in it.
There
was
were
like some weird shit.
So there were two Marduks. There was Marduk, the original guy who fought the Battle of the Seven Winds, and then there was the Marduk who was constructed to be a god. The thing that the shade in the tomb told us was that that essentially they weren't the same person. And so the reason why there was a tomb is that Marduk really died. And it was the thing that destroyed it, I think, was
That realization?
Yeah, and I think also the fact that the key was part of what kept it whole. It empowered it. Maybe I don't remember the real the punchline beyond that. That's where we learned that the gods were constructs. Sort of redundant in Marduk's. I mean, both Kira and Marduk were already constructs. So the fact that they were sort of double constructs as gods is kind of weird.
Ooh, that's not true.
Oh, Kira was actually born?
Yes. Kira is an actual angel, and she was kidnapped twice. Kidnapped by the creator and then kidnapped by Gemma. It's unclear whether your characters would know that, but as players, I should make it clear. Like, the injustice that she's suffered.
So much.
So much. That's why she wanted to go back to the stars after Marduk's demise. And that's a hint that I feel obligated to give you. In all of scripture, it is described as Marduk's demise. It's always strikes people as odd that demise is the word that they use.
Okay.
The shade of Marduk seemed to really want to die and not permanently, and not have the god-shaped Marduk around. It was freedom.
Well, hold on. Was the shade the spirit of the original, or was the shade the presence of the god speaking to you?
I can't remember.
Oh no, I'm asking that question because it was never clarified.
I think we always presumed it was the original.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a totally fair presumption, but there's
But
no
it was never
hard
stated.
Right, it wasn't stated and there's no hard proof of that. Because if Marduk was dead, there wouldn't be a problem. Dead gods maintain their position all the time. The problem is that Marduk is gone.
Meredith once again asks for the question to be repeated.
What was Marduk's tomb and what destroyed it?
Consulting with the others, it was a symbol of his demise, and it was destroyed when the key, which housed the rest of Marduk's essence, right? That's how it was described.
Yes.
Was removed.
Kind of a little too straightforward, though, doesn't it? For one of these questions. I mean, I guess maybe we give that response and see.
I'll give that response. It was a symbol of Marduk's demise, and it was destroyed when the last physical piece of his essence was removed from it.
Incorrect. And that describes how it was destroyed, not what destroyed it.
He nods her head and steps back.
You have 3 guesses remaining.
Well, from Slander's book, it seemed like Marduk was a really depressed guy. I mean, maybe he didn't have normal emotions, but
I think all of us
I mean-
could understand why now.
yeah.
Mm.
So maybe what destroyed the tomb was the fact that he wanted annihilation. He wanted an end to seeing and knowing everything.
So what, he gave in to his fear of entropy?
That could be it. Time itself. Or the paradox of existing and not existing and also existing.
It'd be pretty exhausting.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I know
isn't it-
exactly why Marduk was depressed, and maybe we'll get to it.
We're on question 8, correct?
You are on question 8. There are 2 more. If you complete this one, there are 2 more questions remaining.
We got our lifelines too.
Let's say you got 3. You still have all 3 of your lifelines. You might need them for the last 2, but if you want to spend a lifeline, spend a lifeline.
I think you might be onto something, Harlan.
Let's 2 of us take our guesses, and then if we need our double guesses, I think that makes sense to use it here. Better a double guess than a ask a friend or something like that.
Alright, what could they tell us that we'll actually understand?
Exactly, it's a very abstract kind of problem, but one I think we can puzzle out.
alright, do you want to go, Harlan, or should I?
Kath, you already answered for this. It's Psalm and Harlan who haven't answered.
No, I didn't. It was just Meredith answered this one.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we still
We
have
talked
a
about it a
Harlan. We have a Harlan, we have a Cass, and we have a Psalm answer.
Yeah.
I just speculated to the others, not any given answer.
Fair enough.
You go for it, Cass, and we'll build off yours.
Okay. I think the tomb was a trap that kept him anchored in the world, and it was destroyed by his learning that it was all kind of it was destroyed by his freedom, by his achieving freedom finally.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect. Marduk was free when he finished building it.
I think it was free. Alright, that's a good hint. Let's see.
Did you guys say that, like, the body of Marduk wasn't really Marduk?
No, the god Marduk wasn't really Marduk. So the I'm not sure, was there even a body in the tomb? I sort of remember there not being a body.
There was no body.
Yeah.
Fucking Game of Thrones rule. I didn't see a fucking corpse. He ain't dead.
Basically, the tombs of these guys don't seem to mean a whole lot.
What was Marduk's
But we
tomb?
we did
Very
speak to the
planescape.
shape.
Right, his shade did appear before you. And you were able to have a conversation with it. Right, the book describes that the gods that people worshipped were not the entities as they existed, but figments of the creator's dreaming imagination.
Well, right, I just thought that you guys had said something that made me go down the line of, like, Marduk's tomb isn't real, and what destroyed it was people realizing Marduk was still around, but that doesn't sound correct, because it sounds like Marduk actually died then.
Yeah, as far as we knew, Marduk died and was replaced.
I would say, yeah, the idea that these four gods were figments of the creator's imagination came as a big blow to Gemma specifically.
Mm-hmm.
He was super fucking upsetty that he was the figment of his ancient adversary's imagination.
Well, the exception was Dogo. It seemed at the end that Dogo had an independent existence.
Yeah, well,
And
Dogo.
only Dogo.
Yeah, Dogo both existed as a figment of the creator's imagination and as a physical entity. And when the creator woke up, like, Dogo showed up and, like, smooched his dream clone and was like, "Hey, baby, what's up? Which one of us is real?" And they were both like, "Neither! Jinx, you owe me a Coke!"
So did we already get the answer of what was Dogo's tomb?
Well, this is Marduk's tomb.
Or yeah, sorry, Marduk's tomb.
No, we haven't really gotten an answer. The Meredith's response was very literal. Cass's response was abstract in the sense of trap, freedom from the trap.
Maybe it wasn't literal enough.
Right. I don't remember what Dogo's exact response was. But obviously it contained an oblique hint.
The hint for
Right. What he said
This is-
was it was the last thing he did before his demise.
And then
And then
Cass's
Cass's
response
response
was that
was that
he achieved freedom when he completed the tomb.
Right. And so he was like, nope, he achieved freedom before that. Or no, his response was just he completed it before his demise. That's all he gave you. I don't want to say that he achieved freedom before that because that is big lies. That is big inaccurate. And we're not here to be inaccurate. We're here to be obtuse.
Would it be accurate, and I want to say in the star group, to say that the tomb was a crucible?
Mm,
Trapping him under pressure and melting him down.
Exactly.
A situation of severe trial for whatever was left.
And from what we read in the book, it sure as hell sounded like trial.
I mean,
That's only half the question to consider.
it also seemed in the book that the tomb wasn't really a tomb. It was a place where the key was stored. Like, it was mainly about creating like a safe vault.
Halt.
So the tomb was a vault. And what destroyed it was removing whatever the vault was supposed to protect.
Removing its purpose.
Yeah, it was taking away its purpose.
That's
Yeah.
that.
You want to make that guess, Sam?
Yeah. He'll look to Goto and say, the tomb was a vault, and what destroyed the vault was removing it of its purpose.
He fucking quirks his head at you and he's like, Judge? And she says, I have to give it to you. That is correct. We would have also accepted it was a perpetual motion machine and what destroyed it was entropy. But you are very right.
Well done, Sam. Finally gives him a big slap on the back.
It was really the rest of you to help me.
It was all of us. We all arrived here.
Question number 9. Where did he go after his demise?
So, I guess the question that I have is, was the demise when he died, or when the shade disappeared and the tomb was destroyed? Which is the one that really are we talking about? I'm guessing it's the one that put him in the tomb, but
If what Dogo said is accurate, Marduk's final act in Septemport was completing the tomb.
So where did he go after the tomb was completed? And it wasn't into the sarcophagus.
Although that would have been very Marduk. He's just like, okay, this is when I die. I'm gonna make my tomb, climb in, just.
Nighty night.
Get comfy.
I mean, we talk about entropy a lot. Did he go into entropy? Did he go like into non-being?
Well, okay, so his demise is when he finished the tomb, right?
That was the last act he committed before his demise.
So, and you guys had mentioned that the rest of his essence was left in the tomb or the perpetual motion machine, which is what Kira just said it was. So would he not have gone into perpetual motion or into the machine that was his tomb? Does that not make sense? Am I...
No,
No,
that
no.
makes sense. I just don't think. I feel like it's.
Because it's
Not what I want.
where did he go after his demise? But
If he died and the key was the last vestige of his existence, that would be correct.
I'll try that if you.
Please.
Let's say, what is
after,
the exact wording of your response?
After his demise, he went into the key for the wish engine.
Incorrect. The key was only invested by the shade.
Alright.
He was released when the key was retrieved, so therefore he couldn't have gone into the key. Because he was gone and the key was still active and usable.
BRB,
So-
I gotta piss. Talk amongst yourselves.
So maybe
He didn't return
went
to
into
the
the-
creator, did he?
maybe he went into the perpetual motion machine and became the engine that drove it. The thing that protected the key.
I mean, we can give that a shot.
Okay, when Dogo
This
gets back from
this
his
feels
bio
like
break.
guesswork.
Yeah, really. But we have all of our lifelines.
I think this might be a good time to use them.
So we can call somebody. I mean, I'm always inclined to call Aziz because it's like Aziz and Alexander seem to be the smartest people we've met, right?
Exactly.
He's old. He would. Wasn't he around then during the Battle of the Seven Winds?
so what are the lifelines? Phone a friend, as in like someone not currently here.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
You can ask anyone in the multiverse you know.
Okay, and then is another one like poll a member of the audience, as in like ask Mary or Selena.
Well, it's ask the judge. You can ask.
Oh.
You can ask Kira questions.
I feel like asking Kira might be a good. This might be a good time to ask that.
I think that's honestly the best one though. Maybe Aziz would be better because Kira would know everything about Marduk. Presumably, right? So if we want to save that one for question 10 if we need it.
That's right. She might not know what happened around his demise.
Hmm.
Waste our lifeline. She says, "Oh, I wasn't there."
Ooh. Oh. Would I do that? Would I do that to you?
Well,
You might, but I don't know that Kira would.
she
I
left.
She'd be mad about it, but you wouldn't be.
Right, but she'd answer us to the best of her ability.
She said she left after his demise.
Did she?
So, yeah. She left because of his demise, really. That's the reason why she went back to the stars.
We only used one of our guesses though, right? For
Yes.
this one?
Only
Yeah, it was just
Meredith
me.
has
Okay.
guessed so far.
What was the whole question again? Where did Marduk go after his demise?
Yes.
What
Yes.
was the-
That's it.
Was there-
Where did he go after his demise?
I'm gonna venture a guess, and then you guys can use the lifelines if it's no good. He went into the perpetual motion machine that protected the key.
Is that your final answer?
and he became that which empowered it. Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. It would have been poetic for him to have done so, but Marduk is not one for poetry.
Okay.
I think you have to burn a lifeline, guys.
What do you think Aziz would know best? Who would know best?
I almost feel like Alexander might know better than Aziz.
I mean, the problem with
Yes?
I mean, Alexander seems more. His knowledge seems more arcane.
Mhm.
Not really into, like, maybe human motivation or motivations. I don't know.
But if we're answering from Marduk's perspective,
Yeah,
then
the fuck.
his non-human perspective might be helpful.
Let's say it might
He
help
also
to
knows the
ask a
planes
literal
best.
time traveler.
Is that what Alexander is?
Alexander is indeed a time traveler. He is a mind flayer who existed before the flashback and is desperately trying to reform. I would say that he's succeeded, but he would disagree.
There's always room for improvement. As long as he's alive.
Perfection's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. And he would know the planes the best if Marduk fled this plane into another. He might be able to give us some insight into that, if it would even be possible.
Exactly. Do we want to take one more guess, or call Alexander? I'm
I
inclined to call Alexander.
about to say I have no other guesses to guess.
Neither do I.
This has stumped
Um,
me.
He didn't go into the key. He didn't go into that which protected the key, which was the tomb.
How long do we get to speak to our lifeline? As long as it's
I'll be
necessary?
the judge of that. It will end in an appropriately obtuse situation. He'll probably say something very insightful, and then you'll be like, "Are you sure?" And then I'll be like, "Oh no, you're out of time! Oh no, I'm so sorry!"
That sounds like you.
I hate to be predictable, but sometimes
It's a good bit.
sometimes doing exactly what people want you to do is the last thing they expect.
Any objections?
None. Let's call our friend.
And you are phoning Alexander, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Who is going to manage this? Who is going to manage this discussion?
Well, I suppose it has to be one of the people who hasn't, who can still guess.
When you write, you write.
So Harlan and Psalm.
I'll do it.
All right. I know you can do this, Sam.
I wonder if this is going to be the real Alexander or just some sort of Alexander puppet that Dogo creates for the purposes of answering the question. Because
Do I need to waste
I was
time
saying, one of the audience
explaining?
members puts on a hat and like,
Do I need to waste time explaining to Alexander what's going on?
Very
Yeah,
much
that's
like
who's
Who
wrong.
Wants to Be a Millionaire, you do have to explain what's going
Oh
on.
no, okay.
Do you invoke a lifeline?
Yeah.
You have to say those magic words.
Dogo, I want to call Alexander,
Ah!
the head librarian in Wind City.
I see. I will use every power at my disposal to bring him to you. And like he holds his halberd up and snaps his finger, and just Alexander voips into existence. And he's just like, what? Where am I?
You're at the summit of Septemport, Alexander.
Selena? And she just like points to you some, like listen to him. And he just looks at you, and like his robes are off. He's just a fucking mind flayer wearing a loincloth.
Alexander, I need your help.
Okay.
We need to answer this question. It's what where did Marduk go after he met his demise?
I've often theorized exactly where Marduk went after he left Septemport. I personally don't believe that he perished. I don't think that he can die unless he's killed. And even then, that would be only in the fulfillment of his duty and purpose. By virtue of his convictions, I believe he would have gone someplace that needed him.
Do you have any idea where else, like a name of that place?
No, there are lots of places that are ailing across the multiverse, and there are lots of places that are ailing across this world. But because of how isolated we are, I don't know the names of any of them. I could give you a list. I could give you a list of nations, but if he had been to any of them, they would have spoken of him. So any place that I could tell you is instantly invalidated by the fact that he is not mentioned.
Shit. I don't have any. I don't know if I have any more questions for you.
All I can say is follow your heart and follow your instincts. That's how you tap into, and then he just fucking disappears. Like he like walks up to you and like puts his hands on your shoulders, and it's just like you need to follow your heart, you need to follow your instincts. That's how you tap into, and just and he's fucking gone. There's just a scent of ozone in the air where he used to be. Oh, Alexander with the save. Alrighty then, you have phoned a friend.
Were the rest of us privy to what Alexander said?
Yes, but only Psalm could ask him questions.
Okay.
Remember, most of the stuff was pretty most of the answers have been pretty cryptic, one way or the other. So it's probably not a specific place. I mean, you remember the first one where there was.
So you really think
guy?
I can just say? You really think I can just say Godo went to the place that needed him most?
You mean Marduk?
Marduk, yeah, sorry. Dogo, Godo, Marduk, there's thousands of fucking names swimming in my head right now.
You're welcome!
You think I can just say Marduk went to the place that needed him most? And that would be the correct answer?
I think so. You know, even...
I mean, we still have 2 more lifelines and another guess, so if you guys think that's gonna be a good answer, then...
I do.
Yeah.
Sure.
It feels right.
And I'll look to Dogo again, and I'll say, after Marduk's demise, he went to the next place that needed him the most.
Is that your final answer?
That is.
You are correct.
Yeah! Well done.
Oh, thank God.
Well done.
And it's time for the final question.
We should probably just double our answers right away.
It's time for all the marbles, kiddo. Question number 10. What is the meaning of life?
I guess 42 is out of the question.
Oh, 42 is the answer, but it's not the question.
Well, if you're answering from Marduk's perspective, I mean, everything is already known.
Well, Marduk's life might not have meant anything to him, and maybe he didn't think that anyone else's lives mattered at all, but maybe he could see through it and say that.
You say that, and Kira pipes up, and she just, remarks, "How dare you? He always held life in the highest regard." And Dogo's like, "Hush! Hush up! Hush up! They didn't use a lifeline, you don't get to talk! Holy fuck, you're ruining this! God damn it! God damn it! You fucking flighty broad! You and your goddamn emotions!"
Well, maybe the secret was that there, this is just talking to these guys, not to you yet. Don't know. Maybe the secret is that there was no meaning, and he was able to see that, and he still chose to do the right thing, knowing that.
That's very relative.
That makes sense. It's because we know that he knew exactly how things panned out and chose to do what he did anyway, right?
Yeah. That there wasn't any real big meaning to it.
Harlan, do you remember your father's words and your vision you had last session?
What is the meaning of courage?
Correct.
Being scared as hell and saddling up anyway.
Correct.
So what is the meaning of life? Being disillusioned as hell and saddling up anyway. Well, no, disillusioned, it's the wrong word, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Knowing how it was all gonna end, and
Knowing that there's no meaning and still doing the right thing.
And doing the dance anyway, yeah.
I should mention, as this goes on, Dogo becomes progressively more and more sort of worn down. His exuberance doesn't fade, but his visage becomes sort of...
kind of manic.
Manic and also worn. The reason that you're bringing to bear is eroding away at him. He's not at risk of being destroyed or something, but, on a metaphysical level, he is being, quote-unquote, wounded.
Right, oh no, the god of chaos is being defeated by fucking logic.
Right, well, you are finding the logic in the chaos, and that's death. That's death for a god like Dogo. No, we found the reason in the unreason. You fucking what? Please, no. Don't.
Alright, should I...
Harlan, I think you're close. Sorry, go ahead.
Alright, should I just say the no meaning but doing the right thing anyway thing and see where it goes from there?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no meaning to life. He could see everything and still chose to do the right thing, even though there wasn't some giant plan that he was following to make everything meet a specific goal. He did everything for each case and the meaning wasn't necessary.
Is that your final answer,
Yeah, I know it's going to be wrong, but it's okay.
Judge? And like the crowd reaches a fever pitch. They're going fucking nanners. You sorry. There's a fighting game stage that starts off like round 1 is like on a highway, and then round 2 is in a blazing inferno after a fucking 28 car pileup, and like we are reaching the 28 car pileup, and Kira just says, "You have to give it to them. You have to." And like Dogo, through gritted teeth beyond his mask, he says, "Then what are mortals supposed to do? Question 11, bitches!"
That's not how this is supposed to go.
It's not
Oh,
what we
You
agreed to.
agreed.
Oh, what? The god of chaos and comedy broke a deal? Spin the wheel, slurs! Question 11. What are mortals supposed to do if there's no meaning in the world? Huh? You make your own? What are human beings? What is a man?
It was early in the morning when he rode into the town.
That's the entire reason why we're here. The meaning is purpose and how you choose to fulfill it.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
Incorrect.
To who? To you?
And Kira just says, "You've got 3 guesses left and 2 lifelines. He's technically right. You're on to something. Keep fighting."
This is question 11, so I get
furious.
another shot.
Yep. Everybody gets a redo. Meredith has used her guess, but you can ×2 and get her another guess.
What was the question again?
The question
What a-
is, if there is no meaning to life, if you can only make your own, then what are mortals supposed to do? How do mortals fit into the system?
Too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter.
Mortals
He was after Texas Red.
do whatever they want.
Well,
Wasn't long before the
Is
story
that
was
your
done.
final answer?
But the outlaw didn't worry, man.
But like to Meredith and Cass and Harlan, and is
I
it?
mean, I think it's gonna have to be more than that. Something. I mean,
what made you get up after all that? I didn't want to see the world burn to ash.
I decided to stop thinking about the future because I saw all the bad ones. And so, for me, it was living it. Living the moment I'm in. Because that's the only place where I get to make... maybe choices are just an illusion, but... I don't know. Alright, this... Sorry, Meredith, what do you say?
Nothing.
I love watching sunsets. Sunrises too, when I can actually get up for them, which isn't all that often. But I love watching sunsets. They're beautiful. They're awe-inspiring. I sit there and just like every time I see one, it's like a moment for me. But the sun doesn't give a fuck about me. Doesn't care. Does that mean that my experience of watching a sunset doesn't mean anything because the sun doesn't care and the universe doesn't care?
The question isn't if what you do means anything. It's what are mortals supposed to do?
Or
then-
how do mortals fit into this system?
I'll look to Dogo again, and I'll say that's my final answer.
What's your final answer?
Mortals do whatever they want.
Like, octarine tears trail down from like his eyes to beyond the mask. They trail down the the featureless porcelain surface as the crowd loses its fucking mind. The audience turns into an orgy of violence.
Oh, shit.
It's disgusting. Like, Meredith, Cassandra, you've inflicted some hardcore harm on other people in your life. You've never seen anything like this.
And the audience is all
The audience is
Dogo.
attacking each other as Dogo.
Right, it's
They're
all
like-
the audience is all Dogo, so it's all
Dogo on Dogo violence.
And like Meredith, you've seen some wackadoo torture in the Black Hand. You've never seen anything like this. And Dogo just utters, "That's correct." I'm
Yeah.
done. And he just collapses, defeated, as he dryly remarks, "You got me, Tex. I ain't never gonna see my mama ever again." And then he fades away like snow.
It was really nice meeting you, by the way, Kira.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Dogo's
Oh, you're
being
not?
dramatic. He hates when he loses.
Did the audience leave too?
Oh yeah, the audience all disappears. All that's left
Yeah,
is
it's all. It's all.
The bubble
Can-
and
can
the
we
howling
take-
wind.
Can we take Mary's skinny butt and shove it onto that fucking throne now?
Yep. Nothing's gonna stop you. Except for maybe the biting cold, but I think you can survive out here for a few seconds.
Are you
You're
ready?
not al- Can you not stay and protect us while she sits down?
Me? I'm not here. I'm not here for you.
Ah, fair enough.
Now invoke a lifeline.
You'll see him again, right? You'll see Dogo again?
Oh, he's not dead. He's just a sore loser. If you think he has an antagonistic, relationship with his audience, imagine what happens when the audience wins.
Well, just tell him this. The host always wins.
Oh! If I see him, I'll relay the message.
Alright, y'all. Let's saddle up.
And Mary
Oh,
looks so pleased. You did it. You
We did it.
outriddled the Chaos God.
Yeah.
Weren't we? Isn't that how it was supposed to be?
I wasn't gonna say anything. But even though I saw it, I had my doubts.
I'm sure it made it exciting.
Yeah.
Alright, so before Miyamisa, whatever other freaking nonsense decides to pop up and make our lives miserable, are you ready?
Readiness is an illusion, Cassandra.
Can you
Oh, you were listening.
can you stick your bony ass on the throne?
I can. And I do. When our conversation is over.
All right. Well, let's see it.
Okay. And she steps outside the pink bubble like it's nothing and fucking sits her ass down on the throne. And Selena's like, oh, no, not without me. No, 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 no. I'm a part of this. Thank you very much. I tried living as a mortal. It didn't work. I'm going with you. And Mary just responds, yes, you do.
Meredith nods.
Harlan looks to Meredith and just mouths, "Told you so."
You win, Harlan.
And Kira extricates herself from the chair. Selena braves the cold and puts a hand on one of the shoulders of the chair, and then Mary sits down. And just
Kira had been sitting in the throne.
Hmm?
Kira had been sitting in the throne.
She'd been lounging on it. And when she does, just like a sort of transformation overtakes her. Just everything becomes way more Marduk than it had been.
It's a beautiful evening here as we get ready to start the...
Yes. It all makes sense now. Right. Thank you. All of you. There's more work to be done if you have the stomach for it. But you will do whatever you wish to do. Of course you will. Who could stop you?
I'm really proud of you both.
Like the Marduk's armor sort of like disappears, and she just sort of becomes like a something akin to sort of like a Protoss warrior, if you know what they look like.
Yeah.
In terms of like the arms and armaments. Like there's a lot of like shining pieces and yeah, something very much like that overtakes her. In terms of equipment and visage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Meme.
right. And then Selena becomes like she had a spell book. She becomes dominated by the book. I get big sort of Sandman Destiny vibes.
Ooh.
Like all of the words are writ. You may read them if you wish. Right.
No, I got it.
Ooh, yeah! I may read to you from the book, if you desire.
Does anything good ever come from knowing the future?
No. Goodness is a purely mortal experience. I suggest you keep it that way.
I have only one question.
Ask. I will do my best to answer.
Does Niamisa get defeated?
Do you really want to know?
Meredith, if you're gonna go and fight Niamisa, and you know that she's going to be defeated, you might not invest yourself as much as you would otherwise.
You think very little of me.
Hmm?
No, I don't need to know.
I didn't think so.
I think but I had to ask.
You did.
Meredith sort of steps back and then inclines her head from looking directly at the divine beings in front of her.
It's a lot.
Harlan does have one question. Or one, maybe two.
Yes.
Is my horse still alive?
She is.
Where is she?
District 6.
Thank you very much.
I'll help you find her.
Hell yeah.
I hope you too.
You've earned this opportunity. Spend it or waste it, it's up to you. I'm here for a limited time only.
Is there anything more of the future that either of you need to see?
It's all ahead of me now. Except for the pockets of my vision that don't extend or are distorted. Those are curious.
Nothing's perfect, right?
No. Of all the things in this universe, Dogo is one of the most difficult to predict, but of all of the predictable things, he is the most difficult, which leaves the things that I cannot predict.
I'm not interested in knowing the future, but there is one thing that I'd like to know about the present and the past.
Certainly.
Why did Gareth and Ellen think it was okay to treat us the way they did?
Ellen was seduced by the simplicity of Hieronius. Gareth was taken by what he thought he needed to do. He had to make up for Daskius' evil, and the only way for him to do that was to do right, no matter the cost. In a manner of speaking, he committed his father's sin in order to remove it. I'm sorry.
Oh. But look where we are now. He got exactly what he wanted. Look what we've done, Cass. A great good.
We both ran away from him and his teachings. Are we going to give him the credit for it?
I think it's unfair to deny the hand he played in it. Everything is truly connected, as we've seen. Whether or not it was intentional doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't help even knowing the answers about the past and the present. I'm okay.
No, it does not heal the wounds that he inflicted. That's...
Knowing that my father is trying to be a good man, and the price he was willing to pay was to fuck me and my sister up, doesn't make me feel better.
Exactly.
Makes me feel better to hear a cosmic entity tell us that our mom was always that dumb.
It's pretty dumb. I mean, that's the one thing I'm glad about for Gareth is that at least we didn't get mom's brains.
Dear
Oh.
God, can you imagine either of you in the thrall of Hieronius?
Almost happened.
Not to me.
Oh God, can you imagine a bimbofied Meredith?
Yeah, I can, and it would be really bad.
Hey, step bro, I gotta kill these goblins. It's the only thing I can do.
I feel like Mary can, in fact, just, like, see that, the future, as a possibility. If she sees all endings, right, she could just see that.
It's an offshoot timeline that she can investigate, and it's just naughty. We're talking Meredith. What's your intelligence?
My intelligence is 14.
What would you consider your appearance statistic to be?
I have an 18 charisma, so
Okay.
quite high.
So your appearance is probably pretty good. Let's put it at a 12
Yeah.
or a 14. So let's
Sure.
dump 6 points out of intelligence and put those in appearance instead. That's Hyronius Meredith. It's not good.
Chainmail bikini.
Chainmail bikini, it's a dark timeline. We don't want to go there.
Thank you. I'm going to hold on to that image for a little while.
Hashtag Jacob Meredith.
If
Oh,
your
no.
artist friend was still alive, I would commission him to paint it.
Oh god, he'd be able to see that dark timeline too. I saw you in a dark timeline where you worshipped Hyronius. You looked like this, and you'd be like, "Oh
Like,
no!"
You look great, but my God,
At what cost?
About 8 languages or so.
Oh God.
No, no more.
12 languages?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around 12 languages. Jesus Christ.
Well, I doubt 8 intelligence Meredith would even have any linguistics skill. So
Oh no, you gotta dump that. You gotta dump that shit right the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
You keep Draconic, and you keep Elven because they're sexy languages. Everything else, dumpstered. Throw it in the trash. Who needs it?
I could make a case for Ignan because that's a hot language.
You make a fair point.
No.
Celestial, gotta have Celestial.
Not that the Empyreans of Hyronius have anything useful to say.
No. God damn it, Piff. Harder to kill than a trailer park meth head. Harder to kill than a trailer park.
Well, congratulations on your apotheosis, Mary. I always knew you could do it.
I didn't.
Really,
but
I
I'm glad
didn't.
that it's you.
But yeah,
Seeing it now, the outcome was inevitable. But I'm glad that you carried on with what you thought was right.
Do we leave you here?
No. I leave you where you want to go.
the airship wait.
The airship did not wait
The
for us.
airship did not wait.
Nope, the airship fucking dropped you here, and the dropship went up into the succor, and they left. They were like, fucking hashtag good luck. We're not gonna get eaten by Wendigos and Bandersnatches up here.
Well, I mean, I think there's a horse we have to find.
I was about to say, we've got unfinished business. I don't plan on leaving you all
I've got
so
some
soon.
bad news. The business doesn't end until you're dead. And even
That's great
then-
news, actually.
And even then, the business extends slightly beyond until you go back into the wheel.
I'm just a little curious because of the family drama aspect of it. Do you end up having a conversation with your dad, or are you guys just adversaries from now on?
A lot of conversations. A lot of arguments. A lot of fighting.
Think of it like a perpetual motion machine.
Yes. His pride matched by my meaning.
I've enjoyed my time as your comrade, and I will enjoy my time as your adversary.
I'm glad. But before you are my adversary, there is a lot of work for you to do.
Mm-hmm. I'll enjoy my time doing that too.
Yeah. Good. Is there anything else?
I won't tell you to have good luck because you already know. And I won't tell you to have fun. Just have some smiles along the way.
She tries to force a smile. It's awful. It's bad. It's not good.
So you got plenty of time to work on it.
Yes, I suppose I do.
I mean, it's kind of meaningless thing to say to you at this point now, but just if you're justice now, just remember that, like, yeah, like I said, it's meaningless. It's that not everybody who needs justice is like operating within the rules.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
But I feel it. The cruel, unfeeling hand of justice. Absolute truth, as you saw it, would shear the psyche away from a mortal being. It's terrible. I must think about this.
Looking over to... Has Kira left this room, or is she still sustaining the bubble around us?
She's just hanging out.
How does... Does she seem pleased with the outcome?
She seems sad more than anything.
Just because there's someone else sitting in his chair doesn't mean that his memory is gone.
It's not that. I appreciate your sentiment. I'm more so concerned. And like she pauses. I came here because I thought he was here. I was wrong.
Well, we just established that he's still around somewhere. Why don't you just go look for him? If that's what you want.
It would take a long time of searching.
You have forever.
I was about to say, aren't you fucking immortal?
I do. You know what it means to want something well.
Yeah, but I'm gonna die like in an eye blink for you, so.
Oh, please, I'm only 900 years old.
I think I'm 23? Meredith, when was your birthday? I don't even remember.
Oh, no, you're 24. You're 24. You had a birthday in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. We forgot to celebrate. We'll have to add that to the docket.
Oh, okay.
And I have to close this tab, because if I hear the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire theme loop one more time, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Are there any more questions for Kira?
I mean, frankly... Oh, yeah. For Kira, not for Mary.
I mean, you can ask questions for Mary, too, if you want.
Do you have anything to do with the Kira the goddess? I mean, like, is Lyra your daughter?
No. Lila was my Shade's daughter. In a manner of speaking. You'd have to talk to Salandra more about that. I doubt she'd want to say too much.
That would be a fun conversation.
Solange's pregnancy was not a pleasant one. The labor
Normal
was
preg-
mild, but the pregnancy was intense.
Most
Gestating is
pregnancies.
one can be difficult.
Yeah. Oh, the baby's kicking. Well, what's a divine baby going to do?
Right.
Well, I
Not-
mean, I always kind of figured it was that the baby was sort of like a not just Kira, because Kira was in a dream and all that, but it was also McCavity, because Salandra had sex with McCavity in that time range too.
Maybe that's why Lila is such a fucking wild child. Maybe not.
Oh, you know something? I think I'm ready to be done with gods and destiny and all that crap. And I kind of like to get rid of this feeling in the back of my head. I don't know if there's anything that either one of you can do to get rid of that last of it. But if not,
Kira says, I could help you forget. That's all I can give to you.
you know, I don't want anyone else fucking with my brain. I think I had enough of that.
All I
Who
can
I-
do is help it feel warm and mysterious. Like a forgotten dream.
What about you guys? What do you think?
If that's what you need to ease your pain, I can't deny you that.
I don't think I'd be who I am at this moment if I didn't go through it. And then, if she took it away, then I'd be somebody else.
Well, you'd still be you. I would just have to explain a few things.
If you mean to be rid of the sensation that drags you down, the only way would to become someone else. Whether it goes away by my hand or by your growing indifference, you cannot remain who you were. I can only accelerate the process.
Part of me wants to, but I think I can get through this on my own. So, I guess I'll do that.
Whatever you say. You are you, and I wouldn't do anything to endanger that.
Meredith reaches over to take Cass's hand. You don't have to do this alone just yet.
Yeah. Thanks. I squeeze her hand.
Is it time to go to District 6? Is it time to
I think
find a
so.
horse?
Yeah.
I'm
We
gonna,
gotta go see
horse.
the man about the horse.
I'm gonna piss real fast, and we're gonna have ourselves a fucking epilogue!
Brr, 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 brr.
It occurs to me that in Renaud's world, like, there aren't a lot of high-level spellcasters or anything. Like, they tend to be, like, 7th level, I think, is the highest we've seen so far.
there are a lot of them just kind of he writes them up as getting bored and joining the consortium.
Right.
But like Aziz and Alexander are two of the most powerful people we've run into.
Hmm.
So
We didn't meet Solandra, thank goodness.
Well, yeah, and Aziz and Alexander are both essentially like librarians or school teachers. Like, they're fucking.
Yeah.
They're using their brains for something better than just sitting around casting wish and shit.
All right. At a certain point, you want a challenge.
Mhm. I mean, Solandra is trying to figure out how our public school system should work. But one of the things she's
Nightmare.
been doing this decade is like, I need a public school system for the city.
I imagine Solandra's the kind of person that gets into ethical knots over, like, not to get too real and political about it, but like in our current climate, seeing, public health versus individual liberties.
Yeah, she's big on the individual liberties, but she also does not like people starving when other
Exactly.
people are rich. So
Hmm.
So I feel like it's a good intellectual puzzle for her to stay like interested and focused.
well, I was actually figuring that Connor was very interested in some of Solandra's experiments because oddly, sometimes doing the right thing is cost effective. I mean, public schools were the reason why the American economy became so powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
having a freaking baseline level of education, guess what? It's not only the right thing to do, it makes economic sense,
Exactly.
which is
Yeah,
just sort of a
only-
coincidence for Slandra, but Mirage ends up being very prosperous because everybody's really well educated. And it's all just almost a coincidence. But you can see Connor going, oh wow, I should educate my populace too, but I'll indoctrinate them.
No, wait. Connor, no.
Connor, no!
Wait a minute.
Oh lord, okay. So we've got a lot to go over. So you are all going to get 2 influence points.
Yay!
At 2 points, each of you gets 2 opportunities at any points during one of these epilogues to tell me to shut the fuck up. That doesn't happen. I get involved. And your character will show up, and then we'll have a discussion over what happens. Maybe you can change things now. Maybe you can only change things later. But overall, no matter what, each of you only gets 2 opportunities to get involved anywhere. Once you use them up, it's all over. But let's begin in District 4. What became of the World Bazaar?
Great question.
Never went into the depths of the earth, to the Cat Folk City, and he oh god, he ended 10,000 lives, sacrificed 10,000 souls to the throne of Marduk residing there. And he was furious to see that nothing happened. District 4 was still under his command and the command of the Gold Cloaks. It became known as the Divide, dividing districts 1, 2, and 3, and 5, 6, and 7. And you know what they say about a house that divides against itself.
Cannot stand.
Correct. Dear Lord.
Out of curiosity, this is, kind of. Did ever never end up being a somewhat, for Neomisa, like the proverbial monkey's paw, that she kind of created a monster that she couldn't control?
Correct! Oh, indeed. She thought that she could control him, but his zeal is too strong, too big, too...
Zeal or pride?
What's the difference? So that's it for the World Bazaar. Writ large. But
Sure.
in light of Mary's ascension, a resistance grew in the Divide. And the resistance bore the sign of the Ivory Foot.
I feel like I have to spend one of my influence points here to aid the rebellion.
I mean, you can aid the rebellion with the Ivory Foot, or you can bank your influence to sort of create your own revolt or join someone else's.
Harlan is gonna bank with the Ivory Foot.
Harlan banks with the Ivory Foot.
I too want to bank with the Ivory Foot, but I also want Zadru to play a hand in the death of Neomisa.
That's a tip. Okay. So Pith, I will tell you, Som can get involved with the Ivory Foot, but the death of Neomisa comes another day.
Another day? Okay.
As I am fond of saying, the death of Neomisa is a tale for another day. So you can spend your influence, you can save your influence. You can just say you get involved, and we'll see what happens.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I'll get involved.
Okay. So Som gets involved. Harlan spends influence on the Ivory Foot. The Ivory Foot had a leader, and its name was Harlan. Was he old and drunk or old and sober?
Honestly, I think that's the thing that his battle with melancholy has helped, is that he is now old and sober.
Ooh. There was an olden man of sober variety on an Elden horse with a holy gun, and where he rode, justice followed.
Oh yeah.
Does Harlan become a paladin of Mary?
In a manner of speaking.
A paladin of the gun, a gunslinger mayhap, with his reloading trick and his secretive speech.
And a big iron on his hip.
And yea, they did spake. There was a big iron upon his hip. And his foes, they did make a fatal slip. That being said, the Black Hand was crushed under the golden cloaks. The influence of the puppets grew too great for the puppeteer, until eventually the puppet ripped their strings down and said, "No, I am a living being." Neomisa, terrified, did what she was bade by by Ever Never. And the mistreatment of the Divide increased.
I never actually got a chance to spend the influence point that I wanted to.
Go for it. Where do you want to
I
do?
think I would like to here. Wherever Harlan Road Justice followed, and in his shadow, I would like to spend my influence point to bolster the group that I'd started with the people I recruited here, with those who survived the purging of the Black Hand,
Ooh.
to
When-
create my own resistance.
When the Black Hand fell, and Neomisa joined Evernote, there were many disillusioned people. And what was the name of your agents, Meredith?
They didn't have a name.
Well, the organization doesn't have a name, but the persons do.
Oh, the people that. One of them was Maladirk and Harish Yevge.
Maladirth and Harish were there to pick up the fallen and take them where they could. And they gathered under Meredith's banner. The World Bazaar would be free once more, and Meredith would use the Black Hand's remnants to do so.
Perfect.
In District 6, Connor connived. Perhaps the Moloch Express had been built too cheaply. Cheaply enough to be costly. He was well acquainted with Vime's boot economic theory, after all. He had not considered the backbone of the Fae, the Elves, and the wave of justice that overcame Septemport. Perhaps there was a way to build a train that ran on something besides coal. Okay, what's next?
DM, quick question.
Shoot.
Do the wilds extend from wall to wall in District 3? So they border on the wall to District 4 and the wall to District 2?
Correct.
Okay.
So we've got Ever Never, in a manner of speaking. Ooh, okay. The Chaos Forge remained closed for business, but Griot, the Street Queen, saw once again the forces of the Ivory Foot rise and the Black Hand rise. Who would win her support?
I mean, I feel like I have a good idea of how she likes to run things.
About to say,
have-
Harlan Meredith, you're gonna have to spend. You can either let her make her own decision, or you can spend influence to try to influence her decision.
Harlan, do you really want to work with a rat?
Absolutely not.
I feel like I would be able to give her better what she wants.
Are you
She's a
gonna
necessary part of the city.
Are you gonna spend an influence point?
Let me see what else is on my list. No, I am not. I will leave her open to make her own decision.
The demise of the Street Queen was greatly exaggerated. She had risen from nothing once. Doing so proved she could do so again. The divide is getting hard fucked, but we'll get to that next
Yep.
campaign in the nebulous future.
Hope you like factions.
I hope you like factions. I'm about to say, I feel like the next campaign is just going to take place in District 4, and it's just going to be people trying to navigate the terror that has become the World Bazaar. Who are you going to work for? What are you going to do? Everybody wants you, and nobody takes no for an answer.
Everybody wants you.
I was kind of speculating, and again, I don't know if this is something that can happen and it's worth spending influence. I was speculating on the idea of working to extend the influence of the wilds into District 4, where that boundary wall is. If we can get the Fae and the essential wild magic to creep over, under, and around the wall and start to extend a foothold into District 4.
I mean, if you want to take the wilds into Ankara, that would seriously fuck up the Metal Mothers designs.
No, District 4. Because Ankara is District 5, right?
Oh, you want to take the wilds into the World Bazaar. Right, okay. You can spend an influence and you work with the fucking Lady of Cats and you're just like, no. We taken back the city.
I'll spend a point of influence on that.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord.
Excellent.
So, with impetus from Cassandra, the Lady of Cats staked a claim in the World Bazaar. As urban and bizarre as it was, can you not say a slum is a wild place? A slum is simply a forest made out of brick and mortar. There's prey and predator as much as there is in a place filled with trees. Instead, man preys upon man.
Fantastic.
Baby Jesus.
And I mean, Lady of Cats, Catfolk City down beneath.
Yep.
Oh, the
I'm just saying.
Catfolk City. The Catfolk City became a home for the dragons who built it. They set aside their petty squabbles, and they set aside their silly games, and started talking about dividing territory and who belonged to who. But that's a tale for another day.
What happened to the catfolk?
Oh, they all reverted into cats.
Well, they were starting to do that.
Yep. And,
Yeah, at the end of the previous campaign.
and that ended by now.
Huh.
The dragon's designs came to fruition. Oh, Meredith and Cassandra's mother became far more reasonable in the ascent of Mary Holt. Mary Holt, the Lady of the Scales. She sent message after message to her daughters, professing her deepest apologies. Did they send any responses back? No influence is necessary.
In correspondence that I send back will be addressed to our father, not to her.
I'll send correspondence back to her. I kind of feel bad for her, and there's a certain level of sort of pity that drives Cassette. It's like there's no affection, but there is pity.
As the
Which-
cloud...
Which in families, sometimes that's what happens.
Correct. As the cloud of Hyronius left her mind, she was a more than willing agent of her daughter's, relaying messages to Gareth securely and providing support to Cassandra whenever she could. The ruins of the Hell Fortress remained a frozen pile until eventually the jungle retook them, as it retakes everything beyond the walls.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The Hell God continued its slumber, and as it slept, the Hell Jungle grew in power and vigor. There may yet come a day where the mutants make their demands.
Is the jungle next to District 4 as well, or is that there's a district between them, right?
The Hell Jungle exists beyond District 6. Technically speaking, it's District 7, but nobody wants to admit that the Hell Jungle is District 7.
Okay.
There's no wall around the Hell Jungle, so that it's
Right, it's just
it's
the
the-
bottom of the mountain, basically.
It's the
Right.
thump.
right.
There's a border between the Hell Jungle and District 6, but there's no border from the Hell Jungle to the world beyond.
Right.
Okay. Ankara, Janam, and Mirage continued to build a trifecta mastery of District 5. Janam continued its exploration of arcane magics, and Kara continued to plumb the mysteries of the Metal Mother, and Mirage continued to collate both these ideas into something that could be considered a compromise. Salandra entered her adolescence and perhaps realized she had some growing up to do.
I feel that's accurate.
Finally hitting the triple digits pretty soon.
Yep. No, she's hit the triple digits by this point. She's like 110, like, oh fuck, I'm an adult. Oh no. Okay. Oh, jeez. Vrima's mansion burned, and the evil that resided there burned with it. There were none alive, save Mary's companions, who knew much about the darkness that had resided there, and perhaps that was for the best. Grim preached the good word of Marduk, and then preached the good word of Mary. When she ascended the throne, his power was restored to him, and he became a paladin once again. Men and women who intended to do harm on their fellow mortals feared the orc, who took unkind revenge on those. The Solnado in the graveyard continued its mysterious dance across the sky, under the Dark Man's designs. But as he promised, it was simply a place for the dead to hold domain over the living. The outcasts continued to be emissaries between the world of technology and the world of the wilds. Although there would be a series of dim-witted day trippers who wanted to slum it in the world of the forests and drugs, the outcasts held true to their ideals and continued on beyond Mary's ascension, teaching the ways of the wilds, and perhaps adding insight to the world beyond the mountain's walls.
Interesting.
If I remember correctly, Sketis Maeve and Koronic Vess are both outcasts, correct?
Yep, and Aaron too. Those are the three that were the three named outcasts.
Right. For the most part, their conditions continued as they had been before and after Mary's ascension.
Imagine they were starving to death a whole lot less.
A whole lot fucking less. When the pollution abated, the Fae did not forget the good service that the outcasts and the Elvish band had done to them. And it was many a brownie and Macnac Feagle who brought them support and information from the Fae. The fucking goddamn Catoblepas. Cass, only you can decide what to do with that fucking thing. Did you decide to destroy it? Or did you decide to accept that it was a part of the wilds and the injustice it had done to you was outside of the realm of mortal conditioning?
I think Cass would have gone into to find it, and then ended up counting coup.
Counting coup?
Yeah.
What do you mean exactly?
Just proving to herself that I can take this damn thing now, and I don't need to prove. I don't need to kill it.
Fair enough. You dealt the Catoblepas a terrible wound, and you realized now that you possessed great power, and you did not need to be afraid of such trifling things. Aziz carried on as he had always carried on. The Temple of Bokob that was his school continued to educate the Junkers of District 2. And occasionally, those members of Sanctuary who deemed to send their children to such an ignominious university. And yet, much knowledge resided there. Even the most ardent of chosen supremacists could not deny Aziz's expertise, at least not in their spirits. The ninth and Hennepin was reduced to a ruin under Evernever's rule. The place of mirth and... what's the opposite of hunger?
Plenty.
Right.
Gluttony?
The place of mirth and plenty was replaced, crushed under the golden boot of the gold cloaks. Evernever would never allow a place like that to feed the needy.
Just a note: if would Meredith have known about the magnificent mansion?
Nope. I don't think so.
Just to it would make a great hideout.
It sure would.
The ruins of the Ninth and Hennepin and the magnificent mansion with it.
I'm just saying, if you want to spend an influence, anything can happen. If you want to save a landmark.
Harlan spends his influence there.
Oh, Harlan.
Harlan. How many times had the ninth and Hennepin filled your hungry belly?
Enough times that he definitely owes them his life 100 times over.
Shit, what was the name of the vampire who lived there?
Oh, God.
One moment.
It started with a Z, right?
Is
Xerxes?
it
No.
Zoltan?
Zoltan.
Alton.
Zoltan.
Oh. In the Ivory Foot's desperation, Harlan went to the Ninth and Hennepin, a place he had known as a place of peace in his time there. And although much of the structure had been reduced to an empty ruin, there was one entity that he found there. And when he shared his blood with Zoltan, Zoltan swore his life to the purposes of the Ivory Foot. And there are those among them who survived wounds that would take a lesser man. The Bee's Nest continued its campaign of deliberate degeneracy as long as it could. Until, eventually, even their tastes turned darker than Lila could have, than Lila could admit. Oh yes, Armstrong.
Yes.
Fawaliran considered whether she should spread her grain with the gold cloaks, the people of District 4. And she realized that if she denied the grain to the people who lived there, she would do more harm to the innocent than she would to the guilty. Her songs and hymns were joined by the elvish band who played by Mary's side at the derailing of the Moloch Express. And these songs turned into powerful and mighty protest songs. You could tell You could tell the loyalty of the people of the Divide when they sang the songs of Fawaliren and that elvish band. For no one who did not believe in their cause could sing them with the proper enthusiasm necessary to relate the message.
We shall...
Mm-hmm.
The baby
Come out, you black
dragon.
damned.
The baby dragon grew with many questions for its masters, and they answered it to the best of their ability, granting it deep knowledge. Eventually, it would leave this dry place in search of a more wet home, but it would never forget the people who had offered it support, and the fact that Tiamat had meant to destroy it. But that's a tale for another day. Alright, who is Turva Sneak? I don't remember Turva Sneak.
Like I said, it's my backstory. She's the fixer who got cast that job.
Oh,
in the first session.
Yeah.
But who Cass kind of hid from for the rest of every other time she was in Wind City because she had ties to Niamisa.
Yep, absolutely. Turva Sneak was sent as an agent of Niamisa through Wind City to track down what was happening with Mary and her merry band, and yet she was constantly thwarted by their dearly held stealthy tactics. When Turva Sneak failed to report to Niamisa, Niamisa was too busy dealing with the fall of the Black Hand in order to enact reprisal against her servant. Are there any more questions?
I have an influence point to spend.
Me too.
I would like to spend my influence point creating a contact with the dragon hatchling. Because the Divide, the former World Bazaar, does have a river running through it, and many places for a dragon to hide.
In 40 years, when the dragon grew old enough to leave the Temple of Bokab, it would take Meredith up on her offer to reside in the World Bazaar, in the sewers, and the muck, and the filth. A bog created by humankind could only be greater of a trial than a bog created by Mother Nature herself. And this creature, so endowed with knowledge and the pride of his lineage, could not say no to such a dare.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. You're welcome, future players of next chapter. There's a dragon in D4 now.
There's a lot of dragons in D4. I imagine Meredith in her 60s and 70s is a little terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, Meredith is the type of person who's going to be much scarier as an old lady than she is now, which is pretty freaking scary already. So.
All right,
evil old woman.
Perhaps an auntie that grows greater than auntie herself. I quake at the thought.
For my last influence point, I guess sort of going along with the first one is, Cassandra is not just looking to return to the wilds, but kind of spread the message of the wilds of you know, the natural world, and also freedom. She's going to do her best to kind of spread the values of pretty much socialism.
Have you considered that we're all united together, and that if we don't stand together, we will all die apart?
And, you know, District 4, for better or worse, is a really ripe fruit for socialist ideas. So,
Just saying, do you want to follow Ever Never for the rest of your life?
See where that's gotten you.
Cassandra went to the World Bazaar as a preacher and spread the good word around the divide. And when Ever Never came to crush her, his agents were easily lost in the Fae-dominated sections of the city. The Fairy Queen was very pleased. Alright, Pith, you got 2 influence points. Where do you want to spend them?
you have to make yet another zone of something fucking weird in District 4 just to be consistent.
I was sort of thinking about the problem that Zadri posed on Sam's lifespan, and I was wondering if Connor could help with that in extending or preventing my death as he had extended his own life.
Woo! Sam, are you willing to pay the price necessary to extend your life? I can keep you alive. It's only a matter of what it will cost other people.
What will it cost others?
A lot of things they would consider to be very important to them. Elven organs aren't cheap, but considering what you have done to others, what you have done to me, and what you can do for me, I will pay this price in exchange for a small service. Or you can elect the way of steel and transcend your mortal existence entirely.
I was considering going the steel route. Does that mean, like, cause Connor was the golem that was left when the gnome died, so does that mean that there will be another golem that is left when Sam dies? So, like, Sam will die?
Yes, but it will extend Sam's life. Alternatively, you can turn Zodru into a machine. And he will no longer draw on your life force. At the same time, he will be a giant robot snake. And he's cool with it. He's like, sick, I get to be a robo snake. Or I get to be a robo naga. Devil
Right.
horns.
And he's like a robot like Connor?
Not like Connor. Because Zodru is more spiritual, he will exist long after the gnome would have been dead. But it's gonna end up creating a sort of Warhammer 40k Dreadnought situation. Like, Zodru's spirit is gonna be tied to this machine until the machine is destroyed.
I was about to say Ghost in the Machine.
Right, and that might create some wacky machine consequences, but that's like centuries down the line. Like, literal centuries. Like, so long as you're alive, he's gonna be like, I'm tied to Sam, we're in it to win it, we got this. And you're gonna get an extra fucking 40 years added onto your life, and then when you're dead, oh shit's gonna get wacky.
So, will Sam gain summoner levels during his?
Sam will have to abandon the summoner class and will regain class levels as another class that you deem fit. I imagine sorcerer. Like the energy that's used to give Zodru form will be turned into a robot, and then that energy will be refocused in Sam's body and turn him into a sorcerer of considerable power.
Well, because I was thinking, if he went, because I can't merge forms. Never mind. Well, no, he can. At level 16, he can merge forms, but then I don't know how that would work. Yeah, I guess we can do the sorcerer v robot combo.
Alrighty then. What bloodline did Sam choose?
He chose. Let me take a look.
Well, the bloodline chose him, but what bloodline did Pith choose for Sam?
You want me to pick, or were you gonna like roll?
I mean, I'm not. There are likelier propositions, and there are less likely propositions.
So, there's the two that pop out just looking at the entire list is Salamander or Draconic. Well, actually, there's literally just a Serpentine bloodline.
Terrible.
It is kind of terrible.
I mean, there's also Impossible and Destined.
Oh yeah, there's the Protean.
Just destined.
Destined?
And take a look at that.
Oh, you've been touched by the hand of Marduk.
Oh, true.
And that can make wacky shit happen.
It gives you access to Die Hard, and you certainly have some chances to need that.
Hurt me more, Snake.
Arcane's really solid. I don't know if it necessarily applies, but it's really solid.
I'll allow it. Arcane is like the most common. Hello, I am a magic user, and now I have magic powers. I am an arcane bloodline sorcerer. Alright, real fucking neato, kid. Shut up.
Is there a Naga bloodline? I can't remember.
No.
Oh,
There's a
think
nanite bloodline, and that's the only bloodline that starts with N.
Huh.
I know that there's a mechanical bloodline.
I think the closest is the impossible bloodline.
I thought there was a Medusa one as well.
There is a Medusa one. I'm almost sure of it.
I'll
At least
allow it.
for Blood Ragers, there's.
Yeah, not for Sorks.
No, fuck you.
Mm.
Apparently.
Funny.
I know, right? Whack. Aberrant
Blood Rager.
bloodline obviously applies.
Ooh, Aberrant's fun.
You're all fucked up inside, Psalm. Not in a bad way.
But some things got a bit scrambled.
Things got scrambled. Have you ever had any scrambled eggs?
Nanite, perhaps.
Well, if we're going with like the machine theme, I think the impossible bloodline makes the most sense.
Impossible. You have become beyond the mundane. You are capable of visualizing the improbable, perhaps even the impossible. If this expanded perception doesn't drive you mad, you may learn to make this impossible a reality.
Oh, that's perfect.
So you get Lesser Confusion, Make Whole, Shrink Item Confusion, and Fabricate. You have access to the bonus feats Craft Construct, Magic Armors and Armor, Deft Hands, Exotic Weapon Proficiency, Far Shot, Iron Will, Point Blank Shot, and Skill Focus, Knowledge, Engineering. You are susceptible to your constructs are susceptible to your enchantments. Constructs are treated as living creatures for the purposes of determining which spells affect them from you.
That's fucking huge.
Oh Lord!
Holy shit.
A lot of constructs dump saves, like will saves, because nothing will save. Yeah, will save even affects them. But
Yeah.
fuck.
You gain the disorienting touch ability, spontaneous generation, which allows you to just sort of like craft magical items at will. You can also generate distracting patterns. You gain the power of relativity, which allows you to walk on any surface as if it is oriented downward.
Excellent.
And you're immune to reverse gravity and similar effects.
Yep. Fucking Rex.
It's free spider climb, baby.
It's free spider climb, baby, and at level 20 you become a living paradox. Your outward appearance remains the same, but beneath your skin lies not flesh and blood, but clockwork gears, miniature galaxies, or something equally uncanny. You gain immunity to disease, poison, you cannot bleed, you cannot be critically hit, and you cannot be sneak attacked.
I was gonna add that it's actually quite a bit better than Spider Climb, because Spider Climb in Pathfinder at least, you need you need to use your hands and feet.
Right. This is more
but
like that scene from
you are-
Labyrinth where Gareth starts walking on all the surfaces.
Right.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Jareth. So that's a possibility. And when he made you, Connor said, "Oh, I believe I've made a mistake."
I may have miscalculated.
Oh, you ever make-o a mistake-o?
Occasionally.
And you cast Geese on Connor.
I mean...
Also, the Impossible Bloodline gives you Wish at 19th level. Holy shit.
That's nuts.
Get fucked. Is there any other bloodline that gets, like, Wish at 19th level? Aberrant gets,
Draconic.
Oh! My
Maybe a
bones. Maybe that would make sense.
Yeah, I feel like Genie Bloodline would do it.
Genie bloodline's also applicable. You were born with the power of the fire genies. Yeah, Ifriti, Draconic, and Impossible all get Wish at 19th level. Get fucked.
Amazing.
Oh, and then at level 20, as an Ifrit level sorcerer, you gain the ability to grant wishes to others. You do it every 24 hours. And you can warp that wish however you want. It's you warping the wish, not me. They come to you seeking service, and you're like, what do you want? I want this. Neato, kid. You got it. Hey, this helps me more than it helps you. Get fucking fucked, nerd. Bitch, I don't listen to you. And then Draconic, like, gives you dragon powers. Oh, man, who wants to be immune to a damage type? Ah!
Everyone.
Fuck!
They just don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet.
They also get blind sense and
Wings.
immunity to paralysis and fear.
Oh, they do get immunity to fear, don't they?
Yep.
Fear? That's for other people. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But,
The
like,
difference between resistance and immunity.
right, I don't think people exactly understand what it means to be immune to fire, or, like, immune to cold, or, like, acid. Like, but there comes a day when you're like, aha! I'm immune to cold! Fuck you! What's the temperature? Get fucked!
Goes streaking at the top of the peak.
I literally do not care.
You take 134 cold damage from the Cone of Cold. Did you mean 0? Oops! oops, and I can't even pull the Hellfire joke. Just like, it's Hellfire, you take half damage. Nah, man, there ain't no Hell Cold. Nobody invented that yet. Mephistopheles ain't invented that yet. Wrecked.
My old DM hated immunity so much that he, like, anything that was immune just had, like, instead of, like, fully immune, it was like you got 50 resistance instead. It was kind of shitty. But
I mean, elemental immunity is a hell of a drug, and yet at the same time, like, there's usually a high cost involved, and like, if you pay that cost, you get to be the boss. James Brown made that rule. I don't make the rules, man. James Brown said it. He's dead. Like, I can't controvert James Brown.
right.
He
Going
fainted.
swimming in lava.
What?
I was just saying, going swimming in lava. I mean, that's gonna be fun.
It's fun. It's also hard just because lava is so hard to swim through. Very buoyant though because it's so thick. Like, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, totally possible if you're immune to fire. Take your pick.
Those lava mattresses, those are very comfy.
They're very comfy. They've got just enough give, and they keep you very warm. So, Sam, that's your first influence point. You have one more to spend.
And then my second one, I actually do want to go back to the Hell Jungle and aid in their fight to have rights into the city.
What is your bloodline?
Impossible.
There came an impossible bug man with an impossible bug plan. And in the chaos of the divide, he had very keen political insights. No, this is when we put pressure on them. No, this is when we back off. This is when we show our concern. This is when we wait for the succor. And no matter what, he was always right. Is there anything that I missed?
I don't. None of us. Well, I think all of us have used our influence now, but I think just as a general rule of thumb, every so often, once a year, we gather and kind of reconnect.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Once a year, on the anniversary of the incredibly bizarre trivia contest, they met. And when they did, they would reminisce about the old times. Sometimes with sorrow and sometimes with joy. But they never forgot what happened between them.
Perfect. A worthy epilogue.
Goofy.
We really fucked with District 4.
Yeah, we did! Yeah, we really fucking did!
I don't know if you fucked with it, but that shit was gonna get fucked.
It was always going to get fucked.
It was always gonna get fucked.
I
District
do
4,
love surprising.
We do have a. Oh, oops, sorry.
You were gonna get fucked anyways, but we've added a dragon and a bunch of fairies into the mix.
We now have strong Black Hand, Ivory Foot, and Fae factions.
And the Street Queen.
And probably the ability to side with the fucking dragon if you want.
Correct.
That's like 40 years down the line, though.
It takes a long time to put a revolution down when it's run by someone with such conviction. I'm just saying. When I run the liberation of the divide, shit's gonna be fucking wacky, and it's all your fault.
Good. I already have a character concept.
Oh no.